steal Dustin's thunder, but with Majid, is there any possibility of him playing in the bowl game? And is there anybody, I know it's still a long way out, is there anybody who's definitely out for the bowl game at this point from an injury standpoint?
As of right now, no, there's really nobody that that is out. Jawan Jennings should be back. He tried to go last week. It was a thigh bruise. He suffered that on the one kickoff where he had the hit. And, you know, to his credit, he tried and he tried and he tried, and to the point where he was on Friday, and that's when we made the decision. He just couldn't go after Friday's practice. Marquez North, we'll see. He's been obviously, as we all know, very limited, but with the extended period of time now, I would fully anticipate him playing in the bowl game, but you never know with the body. In terms of Kurt Majid, still don't know yet. I know he's going to go back to Nashville and reconvene with the doctors there, I believe, in about 10 days. So we'll know a little bit more. So, you know, that's continue to evolve just day by day.
Butch, a lot of coaches talk about December preparing for a bowl. It's really important for a lot of younger guys. Who are some of the guys that maybe redshirted, like Drew Richmond or Venzel Boulware, other young guys that this could be a big springboard for them for the spring?
It's a big springboard, and it's a big opportunity for our football team because we're so young. But, you know, the individuals you just mentioned, Drew Richmond, Venzel Boulware, you know, you learn through playing football. And the great thing about it, too, is we can couple practices with also lifting, so they're continuing to develop their strength levels as well. They're going through a non-travel lift, which we call it, which is a developmental lift. You know, their bodies are taking off. Darryl Taylor, anytime you can play football, it's very, very good. And then also some freshmen that have minimal reps. Jack Jones, this will be critical for him to continue to get the reps. Chance Hall, you know, Brett Kendrick, you know, with missing some time in terms of injuries. So I think it's very beneficial for our football team to be practicing and really just to be together. Our team really grew last year, I thought, during bowl preparation and being here and having different events, and, you know, the campus is kind of shut down, so it's just you here, and you really get to know your teammates even more, and it's the last time that this football team will be together, so it makes for a great month.
Andy Parker is back, Patrick Murray, Dustin, Patrick Brown, and West.
With the 5-game winning streak and how attractive you guys are for the bowl sites with attendance and everything, do you ever sit down with Dave Hart and talk about schematics and what a bowl opponent could do for you, your team and your program in 2016? Does it ever get to that where, like, hey, Mr. Hart, if we could play this type of offense, this type of defense, that would be great?
We talk briefly. We talk every day, but really that's out of our control. That's up to the bowl selection committee and who they choose to be your opponent. Probably the most challenging thing right now is trying to think of what teams you could face and trying to get a jump start on all the breakdowns. So, you know, your graduate assistants are doing their due diligence right now of trying to get a jump start because we will practice this weekend. And so you want to expose them a little bit. But, you know, the first couple of practices of bowl is really about us. You really go back and you have kind of the first few practices of preseason camp, you go back and redefine the fundamentals and the small details and work on individual improvement. But, you know, again, those are uncontrollable factors. We're just excited to be able to go to a bowl game, represent the University of Tennessee, and I'm excited for our seniors. And when you hear our players talk about the bowl experience that they had in their preparation in winning the game and everything that went into it, that's what college football is all about. And, you know, to hear them educate our younger players about the bowl experience and everything that went into it, it's very special. And I'm excited, too, that this loyal fan base gets to go to a bowl game again. And that's what Tennessee football is about, is, you know, we're top 5 in bowl appearances. And we fully expect to be playing in big-time bowl games each and every year.
Patrick Murray, Dustin, Patrick Brown, West.
Butch, over here. You talked about before, what do we own? By my count, you guys ran counter 25 times. for 191 yards against Vandy. Is that something you feel like your guys really own right now? And do you feel like you're kind of developing that mentality and maybe reputation as a power, physical offense?
First of all, you did your homework. Very good. I still have not forgot what I promised everyone last year, as I still do want to have a media football clinic with our coaches and go through schemes and all that, and that'll be something that I'd like to do in the winter months. But you're exactly right when you talk about what do you own? And we don't want to dibble and dabble in things. We don't want a designer offense. We want to own something. And each game is a game of matchups. You know, is this a better team to run zone against? Is it a better team to run gap schemes about? Do you need a double team at the point of attack? All those things are matchups. And so the counter game obviously was very, very effective for us, and our players did a great job of really executing it at the point of attack. Our pullers and then our backs getting the ball north and south, or our quarterback getting the ball north and south as well, because that was a defense that was giving up only 18 points a game, and we felt we needed to get the ball north and south on them.
I still have one injury question left. Whatever happened to Jason Kroom's knee? I mean, obviously, I think when he had the surgery, it was supposed to be 3-4 weeks. It ended up being the whole season. Is there any chance he plays in the bowl game, and what ended up just going wrong with that?
Again, you know, you're at the discretion of the human body. You know, each individual heals a little bit differently. It was a very difficult surgery, and he had some setbacks in it healing, but he's right on progress right now. He's making great strides. He's progressing. He will not play in the bowl game, but we're hoping that he may be able to participate a little bit in maybe some bowl practices, which would be very beneficial for him. But it's just been very, very unfortunate. Jason's done everything that he could to get back, but again, you just never know how the human body's going to heal.
I actually do have a question this time.
Okay.
With all the head coaching changes and the vacancies, obviously these guys, when they get new jobs, are going to be filling out their staffs. You've obviously had in your tenure a lot of stability and continuity. How do you approach it when maybe some of your guys, some of your assistants get calls about other jobs? I guess what kind of mindset do you go in to kind of this part of the off season?
Sure. First of all, when they get phone calls, to me that's a compliment to the program. Everyone around the country understands what we're building here, the progress that we've made so far. So to me, I take that as a compliment. You know, if a coach has an opportunity to better himself, better his family, something that really fits his career goals, I'm always going to be supportive. Obviously, I'll speak my opinion, you know, and we've been together for a very long time. I'll point out the pluses and minuses. But again, when they, you know, come after your coaches, I think that's an overall compliment to your football program. And we have some very good football coaches here and even better people.
Which, I guess, as it relates to Kurt, how do you go about starting that process if you do want a sixth year, and when do you have to start kind of kicking the tires on that, and is that an option that's still on the table?
It's always an option. There isn't a time frame or a time limit or an expiration date of when you can try to get the sixth year. It's really, you know, what aligns for Kurt. Kurt has done some amazing things here. He's already graduated. You know, he's embedded in the fabric of our community. So we'll just support him, what he wants to do. And, you know, being at Tennessee means a lot to Kurt. So this is a decision that is very challenging to him. We'll be there to support him one way or the other. He is a Vol for life. Obviously, we'd love to have him here, or if he decides he wants to get on and, you know, reach for other goals right now in his life, we'll 100% fully support him as well. He's meant so much to our program. So, again, those are discussions that him and I are having all the time. I know he's having those discussions with his family, and they're very difficult for him.
That's Tennessee head coach Butch Jones from earlier today in Knoxville. So everyone's talking about what bowl will Tennessee be playing for late December, later this month, or early January. Where, according to VolQuest.com, here are the bowl projections based on if Alabama wins the SEC title this coming Saturday. The Outback Bowl in Tampa seems to be the location for the Volunteers. From Paul Fortenberry of VolQuest.com, Alabama wins the SEC. They, of course, advance to the college football playoff. Ole Miss would likely then head to the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. Florida to the Citrus Bowl in Orlando against Michigan. Tennessee would then likely land the Outback Bowl against, most likely, the Northwestern Wildcats. And LSU gets the Taxslayer Bowl in Jacksonville, which is the bowl game that Tennessee played in last year, in which they're saying is helping them land the Outback Bowl based on attendance. Georgia battling Penn State, a likely matchup in the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl, which would be a return for James Franklin to the city. And guess who's helping Tennessee in Tampa Bay? John Gruden, the former Buccaneers coach, possibly helping them land that bowl game with the Outback Bowl. Stay tuned. We'll wrap things up coming up here on SportsLine News Channel 5+.